Hello, this is Tammy, and happy day 5, which is day 19 in the book. And if you're following along with the In Hers is Yours challenge, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're on the call this morning or any day this week, then you can follow along with some of the after call thoughts, or I call it the after call uh, podcast, I guess. And I'm saying it's a podcast only because it's something that you can just sit and listen to. Just sit and listen to. And yeah, that's it. So if you're getting this message and you're cooking, cleaning, driving, sitting in front of the TV, whatever you may be doing, this is one of those things where you can just push play and just listen, because this is really going out to those who have registered for the call or who are registered for the challenge. Hopefully that makes sense. Or who were this morning was great. After just coming through 5 days of this week, I feel tired right now, but in a good way, in a very good way. Today was definitely rewarding for me. And here's an interesting behind the scenes moment for this day. For whatever reason, this morning, I don't know why I felt a little nervous going in, which was kind of different because none of the other days I felt like that. But today, on this Friday, I did feel like just a little bit of like nervousness because I think I was uncertain. I don't know what it was, but I do know one thing. God did change the things up a little bit because it wasn't our intention to necessarily have the floor open sooner than we normally do for women to be able to speak. But it was such a fire. It just really was. It was encouraging to me when you all get on and share just things that have happened in your life as a result of the challenge and things that you've gleaned from it. It does my heart good because it actually reinforces some things for me and then even in my understanding. So I'm grateful for that. I wanted to just some of the things that came out and during that time, and Lashunda had got on the line and she talked about how the yesterday faithfulness matters really spoke to her, and that there is power in the word no. There is power in no, and just being able to have the boldness and the courage to say no. Sometimes our hearts are in the right place and we want to do what all we can for people. We want to be there. We want to be the hero. We want to, sometimes be the savior, the God in people's life without even realizing that. And sometimes our no is not so that because we're being mean. Sometimes our no is because God may want to reposition something else. The timing could be off. There's various reasons. And I know for me personally, there's times when I wanted to give a yes for someone and do something, but God wanted this individuals at time to lean more on him, to trust in him and look to him as their number one source, and not me trying to play God in our lives. And I know as parents we can easily even do that for our children. When we feel like we have to be their source, we should really encourage our friends, our family, our children that God is your source. If he uses me to meet the need, hey, it's great. So that was something that was brought forth. And my notes, actually, I was writing so fast I was like, dang, I didn't even get everything, but it's okay. I have to get it next time. Protecting, oh, something, actually, my cousin was on the line, Carla. She said something in regards to when, and I believe it was along the lines of faithfulness too. What is it? Knowing the difference between protecting your peace and not being intimidated. And let me explain. I understood what she meant. Sometimes when we have the boldness, she'll just give an example as when she was going through a very trying time in her life, and just with a diagnosis that was given. And just, it was by the grace of God that it's just something God put in me to like stay by her side, be with her through this thing. And I just was committed. It was just like, it was just kind of one of those things was like, I'm in for the long haul. Like, however we got to ride this out, we're going to ride it out. And that's where I was. And so just having the boldness and the courage to pray. And she said something like, how do you know? Sometimes there's an intimidation to pray for people because you don't know, well, are they going to be healed? Are they going to live? Or they're not going to live? And you become intimidated because you're like, you don't know what to do. And the reply to that is us sometimes looking at ourselves, and we have that tendency to think, well, what if I look stupid? What if I look like this? We don't have to save God face. If we operate in his word and according to faith, let that be on him. Let that be on him, not on us. And so if we're operating and praying, then we do that. When my mom was going through, I know my family thought I was crazy because I was standing to the very end. I didn't care what it looked like. I was that radical, like, I'm believing. I was not going to give up on the potential or opportunity for my mom, and it just was a turn of events that should not happen that did happen, and we don't understand that. And I had said that even in that, and in our during our time, is that we don't always understand, why did this person get healed and this person didn't? Why did this person have to go that way? And it's just we don't understand. And I had to free myself from trying to understand those things that don't make sense to my natural mind. And that's what we have to do sometimes. We just have to free ourselves from those things that our minds just don't understand. Let's see what else was on my mind at that time. Married, had a dream, and yeah, that was definitely, that dream was really interesting that she shared. She shared how she had called into the line, our prayer line, our motivation prayer line early because she's an hour behind ahead of us. And so 6 o'clock her time was 5 o'clock our time. Needless to say, she dozed back off and she ended up having this dream. And I was in this dream and was, all these women around and wrapped around a building, and I was dripping with oil, and she was just began to share that. And so in terms of that, and it's she said some things in the dream actually that was really interesting because I had a dream myself last week. And so I'm not going to go into all of that at this time, but that was definitely insightful. And I believe we just need to watch because God is definitely speaking in this moment, whether it's through dreams, whether it's through people, Him really impressing upon our hearts. This is a time where we really want to lean in and tune in to what God is saying. And Renee had came on and said just how amazing the day two was, a reward of a heart that esteems other, which was day two, and how she's reaching out to women. And as she's reaching out, there's people coming in and checking on her. It's the win-win. So as we're out doing what we do for others, God is tapping others to see about us. But here's the thing: we have to keep in mind that we're doing things out of obedience and being led, and not just, okay, so we can look good, and so we do things and you get all tired and exhausted and all that good stuff. But unfortunately, I cannot read the rest of these notes because I was writing so fast. This looks like scribble, scribble, scribble. And so I hit some things, but I love it when you all come on and share in the moment. It was definitely a good time. We definitely enjoyed that. So, oh, and then hello, the after party, we call it the after call on the call. So Taja and I, we stayed back, in case there was anyone that just had something to say and talk. And it was just interesting just even to see how that after party went and how we just enjoyed that time, just to be able to continue talking and listening to what's on the heart of women. So there were some conversations in the after call that did go on. So if ever you want to hang back a little bit, feel free to do it because you can. Let's see if I have something else I want to share. I think that might be it for now. Who knows? I probably should just pause this and then just wait some time until I finish having all the thoughts. Because trust me, it's just like throughout the day, I'm definitely just filled with everything that goes on and that has gone on, and I'm just thinking about all that God is doing and just what I'm sensing. So just know that we definitely are in prayer for everyone that comes on, everyone that has enlisted and decided that they wanted to be in this fight together, so that we're not fighting alone in this thing called life, that we can put on our blocks and gloves and just say, all right, I got your back on this one, girl. I got your back. We can do that. So make sure to invite a friend. If they're not if they're not in the challenge, you don't have to be necessarily signed up to follow along in the 31-day challenge to be online with us. You're more than welcome to invite a friend to come along and say, "Hey sis, if you're up at this time, just dial in and listen. Just dial in and listen." It may be that one thing, that one word that you will get from that moment. So please do that. And that's it. So, day 19 is what we ended with today. Fear not. And I'm just going to read the extra step that says, what has you the most hesitant or afraid right now? Is it a phone call or decision you need to make, or an assignment or person you've avoided? Once you identify what it is, address it today. Do not allow fear to stop you. So, I know that there is a call that I definitely have to make today. Sometimes we just dread it. We just don't want to exert the energy to certain things or people. But hey, we're going to press through that and move on, because there's so much to do in life that we don't want to stunt our growth because we are hindered by something that we need to confront. All right. I think that's it. I have like two or three closings. This is my last closing, though, right here. And that is the prayer for day 19. I'm going to go ahead and read that. Father, I pray for every woman who took the time to listen to this podcast up to this point. I know there is nothing or no one that is bigger than you. It doesn't matter who's against her as long as you are for her. If David can take out a 9 feet giant named Goliath, then surely all of the women who took the time to listen to this can take out the giants in her life with the power that is in your word. I pray now that you will fill her mouth with words of faith that will slay the giants and knock down the mountains standing in her way. I pray that she'll realize that she is stronger than her adversaries, and nothing by any means shall harm her. Strengthen her with your might and give her victory over her giants in Jesus' name. That was the prayer. So, see you on Monday on the line. If you have your book, don't forget to read day 20, day 21. Stay tuned, because we never know how God's going to lead. We might get on a live or something like that. Who knows? I'm definitely just trying to see how the Lord is leading. But day 20 and then day 21, make sure you get that, which is He is no good without you. And then we'll resume 6 o'clock Monday. And we have Lonnie Crawford who's going to be joining us. And if you don't know Lonnie, it's okay. You will. You'll definitely enjoy her. And we'll talk later. All right. I love you. Until next time.